Man, 3 years. 3 years since I saw you guys. I'm grayer. I don't know if you guys notice. Got a little facial hair that's got the gray in it. Yeah, right? The silver fox right there in the front row. For those of you who I haven't met, my name's Rick Barker. How many of you guys have heard me speak or followed me? Let's rephrase. How many of you I'm brand new to you? Okay, let me say something real quick. I'm like sushi. I'm an acquired taste. I'm not for everyone. Many of you are going to be inspired. Some of you are going to be pissed off. If you get pissed off, that's between you and your therapist, because I only speak truth. I don't speak theory. I'm not here to kiss your ass. I'm not here to coddle you. I do you a disservice if all I do is hug you. Circa from Indiepreneur one time, he said, Rick Barker's the only guy I know that's going to kick you in the nuts and hug you at the same time. You are going to leave today with solutions to problems that you had. You have to use this information. Most of you don't. Most of you are going to just be hobbyists who pretend you're in a business, and that's okay. Whatever reason you got into music, my goal is you create it. I'll teach you how to find the biggest audience possible for it. Is that fair? Okay, I'm not the guy that needs to listen to your music. You shouldn't give a crap what I think. Unless your audience is a 55-year-old white guy that loves R&B and hip hop from the early 2000s, I'm not your guy. And too often, you guys are looking for permission from the wrong people. The industry doesn't need to anoint you. You don't need the man or the woman or they or whoever to anoint you. You need to anoint yourself, but you also need to get out of your own way. Here's an exercise I want you to practice when you get home. I want you to look in the mirror. And in the mirror, you're going to see two things. You're going to see the problem, and you're going to see the solution. If you have something that's not going right in your business, that's that person that's looking back at you in the mirror. Nobody's trying to hold you back. It's not the economy. It's not COVID. It's you, because the other person who can provide the solutions is also you. Now, you may not have the knowledge yet to provide the solutions, but that's your job, is to go get that knowledge and that information. Do we all follow along with that? Okay. Now, in order for something new to come in, something old has to go out. We only have so much space in our body. We only have so much space in our brains. Most of it is filled with limited beliefs. Limited beliefs. I met a guy at the airport, and I'm not going to embarrass him. He came up, introduced himself, said he listened to me, and I started talking to him, and I'm like, oh, what kind of music do you do? And how big's your audience? And he goes, well, how many of you have ever suffered from the yeah buts? It's a disease, and it's real freaking contagious, too. Someone who has experience tries to give you a solution, and you throw up, yeah, but. Yeah, but shut up. Take a listen for a second. Something old has to go out before something new can come in. So what has to go out right now, I want you to get rid of the fact that I am doing this all by myself. So am I. So is the other person with less talent that's outworking you right now. Get out of your own way. Here's what I want you to start feeling or thinking. Every day, I want you to wake up and go, how do I get my music in front of as many people as possible today? But I want you to change the word people with the right people. If you have a hamburger, and it's the most awesome hamburger in the world, and you try to serve it to vegetarians, doesn't matter how great your hamburger is. So you guys are out trying to get the whole world to hear your stuff. Here's what we're going to cover today. I took notes, and then I started looking around the room. I started having conversations with people, and I'm like, I'm going to show you the easiest and simplest way to find real music fans. We're not going to look for listeners. Why? Note to self, no one has to pay to hear your shit. How does that suck for a business? Think about walking into Costco and you get over there and they got the chocolate-covered almonds. I go more towards the chocolate-covered areas where the little samples are out. Imagine if I took that sample, I loved it, And then I just grabbed the bag and I walked out. How long would Costco be in business? How long would the makers of those almonds be in business? They wouldn't. But that's what's happening to you every single day. Nobody has to pay to consume your product. So ultimately, they're going to invest in the relationship, not the music. But you're spending all your time on the music and you don't give a crap about the relationship. Think about that for a second. I don't go on social media because I don't have time. So I don't go and try to make relationships with the people that could change my life. I just spent $5,000 on a press release and nothing happened with my song. It's because you don't know who read the press release or if the press release got read. I just got on a playlist and nothing changed. It's because Spotify hasn't called you and said, hey, Rick Barker just heard your song. Here's his information. Go build a relationship with him. But Spotify's building relationships with me. Hey, Rick, you like that? You might like this. You might like this. You might like this. We spend all our time pushing people to places that we don't control, to property that we only rent. I want to get them to your house where you control what they see. You control what they hear. And if you fail, it's because you suck as a landlord. Not because this didn't happen or not because that didn't happen. All right, we all good right now? Okay, nobody's left, so that's cool. All right, so I don't do slide presentations. I do more like workshop stuff. So we're going to work. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I'm going to take you into my computer. I'm going to show you step by step, click by click. I also have some gifts for you when we're done. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of cool stuff. It's up to you whether you want to go get it or not, but I'll tell you exactly how we can do that. So if we can go ahead and throw my, wait, hold on. I told him I wanted my thin side. All right, cool. All right. I made a deal with this guy over here. I went up and I'm like, hello. Unfortunately, I don't look like Magnum from St. Louis, wherever he's at with his own clothes. You guys see him? He's like the male version of Pink. So Pink puts that on the back of the girls' pants and everybody stares at their butts, or they put Pink on the shirt and everybody stares at their breasts. He's got like St. Louis legend right here on his shorts. I'm like, damn, that's like, hey, he's a legend. All right, so if we can go ahead and throw my screen up here real quick. Do I have to do something? Hey, there we go. How many of you are familiar with the story behind Handsomer? Okay, just raise your hand. Okay, so most of you are not familiar with this story. All right, where's Carnage? Okay, let me explain something. How many of you guys, how about Carnage, right? He's the most talented person that nobody knows. And I'm gonna help him fix that. Because what happened is like most people his age and my age and many of your ages, we don't know what we don't know until we know, you know? All right? Now he's gonna have no excuses because I'm gonna show him. So Russ is probably, in my opinion, one of the most famous DIY artists ever. He went out and did this thing on his own. Right when Spotify started, SoundCloud started, he started throwing up his raps, throwing up his beats. He was one of the first independent artists making $1 million a month off of his streaming royalties from Spotify. He got in early. So then TikTok, how many of you guys heard TikTok? How many of you have a TikTok account? How many of you do not have a TikTok account? You will by the end of the day. I do not care how old you are. You do not have to do dances. You do not have to know how to twerk. That is not, no more. There was a time when you had to do that. Not now. There's something very powerful. It's called duets. I want you to write down hashtag duets. I want you to go on TikTok. It's a little breath freshener for those of you that are not young, young to remember that. Okay, so he throws up this beat. And when he throws up this beat, this little girl comes on. Where's she at? Let's give you some volume here. Here's how it all started.
For Young Thug today.
I know I'm fine, but the money makes me handsomer. Walk around smelling like a come up in the answer for her problems, but I'm not him. I don't mind it though. You don't like me how you think you do. I like it though. Look, I know I'm fine.
I won't lie, that extra coin don't hurt, but I get money, baby. I just rather spend yours first. I know for sure the pussy worth more than an Hermes purse. I got the best on earth, so that dick better come with some perks. Yeah, you fine, and the money come my eye too, but there's a big difference.
So that's all he did. He threw it up thousands upon thousands of rappers and singers and people just like yourself came and threw their verse on. It's free. She just used her little AirPods with the little thing. She did her little rap. She put it out there. This thing took off. I mean, it exploded. It exploded to when it had 4 million, 5 million, 6 million viral views. Funny story about that. The song wasn't even written. It was the 45 seconds that he put up on TikTok. They did not go on and finish that song until after it went viral. Then he invites her in to cut it. It ends up doing monstrous. She ends up going out doing 22 sold out tour dates with this guy. And she got her gold record. And now she's turning down record deal offers left and right because, like Russ said, if I have the money, I'm the priority. If you sign to a label, you're an employee. Man, if I just had a label. Most of you aren't ready for a label. You got to have something that's rolling, and I'm going to show you. You know, I called this how to market like a major on an indie artist budget as a hook to get your ass in the room. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So I learned a long time ago, give them what they want, sell them what they need. And what you need is truth. But if I said, here's the truth seminar at 11:10 at the CD Baby Music Conference, everybody be off doing kind of whatever. So we're going to get you in there, but I'm going to show you the marketing side. So Caitlin also, there's a gentleman by the name Cato, the producer. Cato on the track, y'all know Cato? Okay, Cato's been doing the same thing. Throws up a beat, you can sing with them, you can do whatever you want with them, and you can share it across your platforms. How many of you are familiar with Ryan Tedder from One Republic? Wrote for Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, he does everything. How many of you would like to sing on a track that Ryan Tedder produced? You can. Just go to TikTok. I want you to go to open verse challenges and duets. And Carnage, I want you to start putting your beats on there and then just say duet this, and they will. And because of the coolness of what it is that you do not be surprised if famous people start singing over the top of your music. And other people, everybody in this room, how many of you think, man, I could go over a beat from that guy? You will have the chance when he gets over to TikTok and that she's going to share it to her platform. That's going to get you attention. He's going to share it to his platform. That's what's going to get you attention. We are going to use other people's audiences. You are not alone unless you choose to be alone. You guys understand that, right? The internet won. It's not going anywhere. Damn it. I know a lot of you have been fighting it for years. Well, next year it'll be gone. Think about it. It's a tool. Let me show you something here real quick. I'm going to show you how to build an audience. Pardon me. I'm old and must put on my readers. Okay, so everybody needs to have a Facebook business account. You can't use your personal page in order to run Facebook and Instagram ads. What I'm going to show you right now is how to find real music fans for your audience, and I'm going to show you how to do it for as little as $1 a day. And I'm going to show you, if you got a little cash and you want to spend a little more, how we can find more people. So when I was at the airport and I was talking to this gentleman, I said, so what's the problem? And he said, my music sounds like it's from the 60s, so there's not a real big audience for it. Without raising your hand, how many of you feel like there's just not really a big audience for what you do and it's going to be a lot of work to kind of find the right people to hear your stuff? Yeah, we've all felt that way, okay? So what you do inside your Facebook ad manager and you go to create an audience, we're going to create what's called a saved audience. Now, don't worry if you don't get all this. This is one of the gifts I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you some of my courses. That's how I pay my bills. I sell courses. I'm not going to sell them to you. I'm going to give them to you. And I'm going to wish bad karma on you and your children if you do not use them. Okay? You're going to wake up with a third head. And that might be very nicheable, but you guys can't keep spending money coming to these things and not doing anything with it. I don't care what you know. It's what you do with what you know. And I've been as guilty as hell. I've been the fat guy at the gym. See a lot of fat people on treadmills. I was one of the fat people on the treadmills because I showed up to the gym, but I ate like shit. There's multiple things that we have to do in order to be successful. There's not one magic pill, not one magic formula, not just one person that you can learn from. Inside the saved audience, when you click on saved audience, right now in the United States of America, before I put in anything else, do you notice up here, it says estimated audience size, 221 800,000 people. That's just in the United States. People between the ages of 18 to 65 that Facebook and Instagram have an idea of what it is that they do. So what we're going to do is we are going to just keep the United States. I'm going to use this just for an example, and we're going to go, if you sing in English, we're going to go English all. Now, you guys can do this with whatever genre you're in, whatever. I'm going to give you a couple tools in order to do. I asked him at breakfast this morning, I said, who's an artist that if you had the chance to open up for, you feel their audience and them you would vibe well with? So I want you guys to think about that, and I want you to write it down. If you had the chance to open for a famous artist, who already has your people? We call it the Dream 100. Who already has our folks? Okay. He said John Prine. Okay, so we're going to go John Prine. So right now in the United States of America, people between the ages of 18 to 65 who speak English, the estimated audience size is 1.3 million to 1.6. Well, not many people. That's 1.3 million people. Cool part is you don't need 1.3 million people to be successful. Matter of fact, a lot of you could build a very good business off of 100, 200 people. You just got to make more offers. What? We have to sell to them? Yep. That scares the shit out of you, don't it? I've been to shows where artists can remember every chord, remember every word, and then when they have to talk about money or inviting them to the merch table, they like fumble over themselves. It's okay. People want to help you. They just need to know that you need help. The audience, Tom Jackson, you guys are going to hear him say this. The audience is dumb. They aren't going to figure it out on their own. If so, you wouldn't have to tell them, put your hands together. They would have already done it. Isn't that funny though? Everybody's there and you go like this and they're like, they could have been doing it the whole time. They want to be told what to do. So we're going to help them. So inside the United States, so here's what happens. So we're going to go to Facebook because they're smarter than we are. And we're going to say suggestions. And they're going to put Americana, going to put Steve Earle, American folk music, folk rock. We're going to stop there. Now our audience is 66 million. See how fast that grew? How long did that take me? Not much time at all, right? Where's Chris? Chris, you here? Here's the magic potion. These are people that have shown interest in this band. These are listeners. We don't want listeners. Listeners don't spend money. Remember, we said that earlier. We want to find real music fans who spend money. So if you have the option inside this down below, after we hit this up, see right there where it says narrow audience? We're going to narrow this audience down. Because if I add Spotify and I add Apple and I add all that stuff, once again, it's just going to get me more listeners. I don't want listeners. Most of you go, that just defeats the whole purpose. Don't we want as many people to listen to our music? Yes, but ultimately we want them to spend money. What is an interest of a real music fan who might spend money? Concerts and live shows, ding, ding, ding to the man in the front. Those people are going to pay for a ticket. They're going to pay for a babysitter. They're going to pay for overpriced beer. They're going to pay for overpriced parking. And they're probably going to leave with a shirt to brag to their friends that they went to this show. Does everybody agree with that? All right. Because ultimately, I need people to buy from you in order for this to turn into a business, because the streaming model sucks and takes a very long time. So we're going to narrow the audience, and we're just going to add this demographic of concerts. And then we're going to say, okay, concerts, give us some suggestions, music festivals, live music, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Just stop there. Is everybody okay with a potential audience starting at 64 million? But Rick, my problem is there's not an audience for my music. Well, I beg to differ. Because it tells me if that's the guy you said you would like to go play for, and now, because guess what? He's not the only guy. As Facebook saw, there's some other people that we can do. Does everybody see how they can do this for their own genre, their own business? Yeah, okay, perfect. That's all I want you to be able to do. Because here's what's going to be neat. So we're going to save this audience. We're cool with it. I'm going to name it CD Baby Chris This new audience. The suspense while I type, the room, you could have just, woo! I had them in the palm of my hand when I was at the keyboard. Okay, so now that we have this audience and we go in to create an ad, we're gonna go back in here. We're gonna go to the ads manager. Now here's the very first ad. Now, I run about 6 different ads to different audiences depending on what they are. I'm just gonna show you real quick about this one. There's various ways you can do it, but also as one of the gifts that I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you a Facebook and Instagram ads masterclass that we created. Are you guys okay with that? Okay, all right. And then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna give you that tool as well. You guys like free stuff? Okay, here's the problem though. Most people won't do free because they didn't pay for it. I'm not allowed to sell anything to you. If I was, I would charge you $10,000 for it, because if a $10,000 investment, you might get you off your butts to do it. But sometimes we spend, like my buddy Omari's here, you know, he may offer you something for like 97 bucks, and then your brain says, oh, I'll get it to it later. I only spent 97 bucks on it. Don't raise your hand, but how many have been guilty of that? Yeah, we all have, myself included. That's what I'm trying to get you out of. So what it is I want to give you something, because I need as much karma as I can get. The shit that I did in the 80s, whoo, I'm still trying to make up for it. You know, I'm 30 years sober for a reason. So I'm giving as much karma as I can back to you guys, but I need you to use it so I can get the karma back. So do it for Rick. All right. So once we go in here and we create this audience, the very first audience that I want you to create is what's called an awareness audience. This is going to be videos. And the reason that we like videos is because we live in a video world. Okay? Madonna said we're living in a material world. Now we're living in a video world. So everything's about videos. Also, it's very inexpensive. Who likes inexpensive? I do. I want to reach the most people I can for the least amount of money possible. This is good for reach, brand awareness, video views. The content that we're going to use is we're going to use either a cover song or we're going to use one of your originals. I share all that, and we'll cover all that in the free material that I give you. So now you need to go watch it to see what it is that I'm talking about. But what I want to show you right now, real quick. All right, so we got this. We're going to go here. Once I plug in this audience that we just created, so I'm going to use my saved audience. Don't worry about, oh my God, what do we do? Don't worry about it. I'm going to give you all that. We're good. CD Baby, Chris's new audience. All the information is going to show up on the right-hand side. And right now, if we were spending $5 a day, we have the ability to reach 3.4 thousand people to 9.8 thousand people every day. How many of you would like to have a potential audience of 4,000 people a day? How many of you tour? Can you get to the whole United States for $5? Not with gas, not with this. So this lives all the time. But Rick, $5's a little tight right now. I get it. So let's go and say $1. You have to at least run it for $1 or it won't work. And by the way, if you cannot afford $1 a day on your own business, quit. It's not a business at that point. Quit. Okay. How many's okay with 600 to 77 to 200? So think about that. That's every day. So for $7 a week, you're getting back to that 3,200 people. Now, all 3,200 aren't going to engage with you. But even if we get 10%, we got to start picking them up, picking them up, picking them up, picking them up. And then what we have to do is put them in a system that nurtures them when we find them. Too often we want the world, but we don't know how to handle the people that we have. We want 1 million new people to hear our songs, but we don't know how to get the 100 that we have to spend any money with us. So let's get this part down first. Crawl before you walk, walk before you run. You have to learn how to drive a stick before I give you the Ferrari. Or you're just going to be a very awkward person in a very powerful vehicle. Okay? We want to make sure that we do the things that we're supposed to do. So start small, test it out. Right product in front of the right audience, and then you make offers. Most of you go, I have music, pre-save my campaign. Then you're like, man, I got no pre-saves. Well, you're trying to get strangers. Hell, most of us can't get our friends to do it, and we're trying to get strangers to do it. Here's a messenger funnel, free plus shipping. I don't even know you. So I like to date people first. I like to do a couple ads. We start with an original or a cover. If you start with a cover, I'm going to give you something real quick. John Prine fans are loving Doug's version of blank. And then, so fix that for yourself. That's a curiosity, because all we want them to do is push the button. And that's why we make the video 30, 45 seconds, because a stranger might go, yeah, I like John Prine. I'll check this out. They're only asking for 40 seconds. How many of you have been guilty? Do not raise your hand. Here's my latest music video. Watch it and tell me what you think in the comments below. And then crickets. Some people don't know you. They may only have 15 minutes on their lunch break, and we're asking them for 3.5 minutes for a complete stranger. It's not going to happen. It's just the reality of the way the world is. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. If you are doing an original song, you can steal my words. Anything I say, plagiarize the hell out of me. You don't even have to give me credit. I don't care. I just want you to do it. What you are selling are emotions. That's what your music is. It's an emotion. Make you want to dance, make you want to cry, make you want to have sex, make you want to drink, make you want to whatever. It's an emotion. These words, everything in my world is hook, story, offer. Write that down. Hook, story, offer. Here's the hook. Have you ever felt? Have you ever experienced? Have you ever wondered? And then you insert something. So let's say this young lady in the front row seems to be rolling along with me. Have you ever felt heartbreak where you absolutely could not breathe? If I'm somebody who's felt that emotion, I know exactly what that person's talking about. This song helped me through that. Well, crap, I'm going through that. This song helped her through that. Maybe this song will help me through that. I push play. So all we want to get them to do on the first date is push play. We don't want to get them to follow you on Instagram. We don't want them to get them to pre-save anything. We want them to listen to your music. That's the hardest thing. You guys know that's what the major record labels spend most of their money on, is trying to get program directors and music directors to hear the music. And then once the music gets heard, then maybe it's going to get added. You guys heard the term, my song got added to radio? Well, let me explain to you how it works. Light rotation is one play every night, 7 days in a row, between midnight and 6. Unless your audience are crackhead or donut shop workers, it may not be getting heard. And most red stations that night don't have DJs, so they might not even say who you are. But hey, let's say you are lucky enough to get 100 radio stations to add you to light rotation. Okay? So that's 700 spins. Well, I can get 700 reach. We can't go back to the radio station. Radio station doesn't call and say, hey, Rick Barker heard your song last night at 12:03 a.m. He was high, but he loved it. Here, go build a relationship. But if you push play on this video, I know I can go talk to you again. Now, unlike what some people say, they don't give me your email address. They don't give me but they allow me to what's called retargeting. We teach all that in the free gift that I'm going to give you. So that's how this system works. Smaller, shorter videos on the first couple dates. What we're wanting to do is to get them to watch 50 to 75%. Where's Brittany? Where's my, there you are. You're the one who made the ads rainbow, right? Yes, okay. So Brittany made this bitch-ass ads rainbow. I had some silly PDF thing inside the course. She bought the course. She made this beautiful ads rainbow. She has given me permission to share the ads rainbow. And you guys thank her. I'll show it to you here in a second, but it's going to show you of all the 6 ads that we do, what your creative should be, what your budget should be, what your KPI, which is key performance indicators, what you should be looking for. How do you know if it's working? How do you know if it's not working? That's the thing. Instead of just throwing it up on the wall and seeing if it sticks, we've got things to look at. So we'll give that to you as well. But when you go in and you look at this, then you're able to say first video, 30 to 45 seconds, second video, maybe try a minute to 90 seconds. And then it's the third date where we try to get them off platform. We do it in a specific order for a specific reason. We're trying to strengthen that relationship before we ask them to do something that we normally won't do ourselves. Everybody good before I move on from this? Everybody understand how easy this is? Everybody will take the free gift and walk step by step over the shoulder, learn how to set up your ads account, learn how to do all that stuff. That's going to come to you. So how do we get that free gift, Rick? Quit teasing us. I want you to open up your phones. And I want you to go to your Instagram account. By open up your phone. If you don't have Instagram, please tell me. TikTok is the biggest discovery platform we have ever seen Instagram is the best engagement tool, in my opinion, that we've ever seen. And they're both free. What they take is that one commodity that you never get back is time. So the better you learn how to do it, the better off you're going to be. So open up Instagram, go to Rick Barker Music. If you don't follow me, while you're there, give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. All right, so how many people are in my Instagram account right now? Okay. How hard would it be for you from the stage to say, all right, everybody pull out your phones. I want you to open up your Instagram. They're all going to have Instagram. You're going to pick up some Instagram followers. Step one, just picked up some Instagram followers. I want you guys to go into the message section, and you're going to send me a message. In that message, you're going to type the word gift, Gift, gift. After you do that, you should get a message from me with the little instructions on how to go get it. Does everybody see that? Show the little button. First person that does it. Let's see what we got. You got it? Go into the message. You come in. You got it? Okay, click on it, and it should open up to a web page. It's going to look like this. When you go in and you get it, we're only able, so let me go here. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of messages right now. Damn, whole bunch of you. Okay, let me show you how this works. All right, so let me double up this. Let's go here. Stop share. Let's go to my iPhone. It may take a second. There's a lot of you using the same thing. So basically, okay, so it says gift. When you click on the gift, Invincible Czars, Moonray, Phil, everybody get it? Yeah, then it's going to give you a little link. You're going to go click on it, and it's going to get you to this page. And those of you that don't have Instagram, I don't want you to feel all bummed out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to rickbarker.com/gift. Here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the ads rainbow that we talked about. I'm going to give you what's called my new music business toolkit. What I did with that is I said, hey, I went to Africa with the family. My wife and I were excited. We just did our wills. The guy comes home. We're like, perfect timing. We're going to Africa. He's like, are your kids going with you? I said, yes. He goes, well, what if they die and you're the one leaving everything to? And I'm like, that's gross to even bring up right before we're about to fly over a big ocean to Africa. Well, there's this thing called the Armageddon Clause. So I had to plan my death, basically. And what I did is I planned my exit from the music business and said, if I were to leave, go play senior golf, or get tired of arguing with artists on doing the right thing because it's very stressful, what could I give someone, no matter what level they're at, that could help them? So I'm giving you 3 of my workshops: the audience engagement workshop, the manage my music career workshop, and the fan growth workshop. Those were 3-day workshops. I'm giving you those. I'm also going to give you my social media for music course. Normally sell that for $97. You can have it. I'm also going to give you the Facebook and Instagram ads masterclass that me and my partner did, and I'm going to give you a couple worksheets. I'm going to give you a house cleaning worksheet, which is website, all the things that you need to get done before you start spending any money on ads. We got to make sure that your house is in order, or we're going to waste money and waste opportunities. I'm also going to give you a song release checklist. These are the things that you should do before releasing a song. I just reached puberty right in front of all you guys. Took 55 years for my balls to drop. Okay. And then this woman's having to explain puberty to her daughter. I feel so bad about that. That's an awkward conversation she's going to have now because of me. All right. So, and then the other thing that I'm going to give you is the ads rainbow, which shows you all the different ads. So that's yours. Have fun with it. Please do something with it. So the tool that I just used to do all that is called InstaChamp. I'm also going to give you guys access to get a free copy of InstaChamp. Now, the free copy of InstaChamp has restrictions. It's got a watermark. It's got whatever. It gives you only 3 keywords. The way that I just did that with the DM was a keyword. InstaChamp is the first 100% meta-approved DM for comments, stories, posts, DMs. A lot of people will tell me, Rick, I'm getting way too many comments. I can't respond to all of them. Anybody having that problem right now? We're going to fix that. Everybody, when you get your first DM, we're going to fix that. How many of you would like to be able to be from the stage and do what I just did and say, that song you just heard, I want to give you an acoustic copy no one else has. Just open up your phones, text the word music, DM the word music. Instead of having to use an SMM text, which is very expensive, you can just do it straight through your Instagram or your Facebook. Also, too, story mentions. They do something with Instagram Live. So when you're on Instagram Live, so I cheated because I set up. I'll show you what mine looks like. InstaChamp also gave me the ability to to create for you guys. So here's what happened. I'm always trying to find ways to help the independent artist. I do not expect you or want you to spend the amount of money that I spend on the technology. In order for me to give you guys free stuff, it costs me about $60,000 a year. That's why I laugh sometimes. I'm like, dude, thank you so much for all your free stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, if they only saw. And then one day I just showed you guys my tax returns on one of my little calls. I'm that transparent. So I went to them and I said, look, this is a great feature, but independent artists can't afford $9.95 a month for only 500 message sends. They're like, well, we have these other options, 25,000 a month, 50,000, 100,000, these message sends and things like that. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, what prices would these artists pay? I'm like, really? So they let me come up with the prices. So as a joke, I said, $25 for the 25,000 a month, $50 for the 50,000, 100 for the 100,000. They're like, you want to charge that monthly or one time? Like, this is like thousands of dollars that these people are offering. And they go, I said, one time. They said, okay. I said, how long will this last? They said, we need activity, so just go ahead, feel free to offer it. So you'll see when you go to the link in what I sent you, you can also see the other things. But I've just set up all these keywords. Growth, toolkit, these are all for my business. DM greeting, this is the best one. If somebody leaves you a DM message, hey, Carnage, I saw you at the CD Baby Festival and you were awesome, but he doesn't have time to get to it. That's like me looking at him in his face and going, dude, I think you're awesome. And he just stands there and doesn't even acknowledge it. When you guys do not acknowledge the people that are leaving you messages, they took time out of their day. You are not the only person trying to get their attention. Does everybody understand that? So do not leave them hanging. But I understand you're busy. I understand you're working. Not everybody can do the 9 to 9. Some of you have to do the 9 to 5. And then you go, shh, you just want to create. You guys are in the inventory business. We got to get out of that. We got to start selling some stuff. And what they're ultimately going to invest in is the relationship. Still this DM greeting if you want. Thanks so much for reaching out. I get a lot of DMs, but yours is important to me, and I will get back to you ASAP. That's something, right? But then I go a step further because I got to pay bills. Generosity, the mortgage won't be paid with generosity. So I said, hey, if you happen to be reaching out for help with your fan growth strategy, just DM the word growth and I will get you hooked up. So how can you use that? Use the front part that I did and say, hey, and if you haven't had a chance to check out my current single, I would love to share it with you. And there's a link to go hear your music. Simple, right? We can either ignore them or we can take a chance that they might listen to your music. But if you gave them a little opportunity to say, I acknowledge you. And then there's all these other things, story mentions. You guys know now in stories, it used to be you swipe up to try to send people off, and now they let you do a link. Now, whenever you swipe up, somebody can leave a comment or leave an emoji or leave a heart. I have one that, for me, that just says, let me go back. Let me get rid of this guy here. I have one that just basically says, hey, just wanted to say thanks so much for engaging with my stories. I hope all is well. Do you know how many people respond back and tell me what's going on in their life? Do you know how much closer I am to building a relationship with that person where there could be a monetary transaction? Real close. Some of the other strategies that I teach, and you guys will learn in the free gifts, is voice messages on Instagram. It's one of the most powerful tools I've ever seen in my life. When you can say someone's name in your voice, game on at that point. Game on. Because now we're different. There's no shortage of people that can sing. There's no shortage of talent. There's shortage of people willing to build relationships. The majority of people in life not just musicians, are always looking for the shortcut. There are no shortcuts in relationships that mean something. I would never shortcut the relationship or try to speed up the process to be a father. I would never try to shortcut the process or speed up the relationship to be a husband or to be a friend. But we're always trying to shortcut and speed up the process of the relationship of the people that can change your life. And we don't mean to. It's not like we woke up vindictive. It's not like that was our plan, but that's what we see everybody else doing. I asked somebody one time when people will come in and I'll send a voice message and I'll thank them. And I'm part of a mastermind. I spend $35,000 a year to be a part of this group, some of the most brilliant marketers in the world. And the marketers, by the way, marketers screw everything up, just so you know. All the cool stuff comes along, we come in and rip it up. So they looked at me and they're like, but Rick, how scalable is that? What if you have to say, thank 100 people? I said that I'm going to thank 100 people a day. If somebody says, what do you do for a living? I thank 100 people a day. How much money did you make last year? $500,000. What's your job? Thanking 100 people a day. Do you want to be profitable or do you want to be scalable? I would rather be profitable. Some of you, profitability could mean making your first $100, your first $1,000, your first $10,000. But we've got to start somewhere. InstaChamp is probably, like I said, one of these tools that came along at the right time because it allows me to acknowledge someone and it allows my assistant to come in or me to come in and say, you need to get back to this person. And that's what I love doing. How many of here use the bathroom? Where you have to sit. That's a great place to do some of this stuff. And those of you that say you don't take your phone to the bathroom, there's a confessional out there and a priest that will fix you. Ladies, you'll see guys you won't see them, but we do, at the urinal. Imagine if that stuff drops. It just happens. All right, so we got that for you. Next thing I know, how many people have music that's already on Spotify? You use CD Baby, you got music that's on Spotify. Okay, how many of you would like to get your music listened to every single day? How many of you are sharing your song every single day in Instagram stories? Ooh, the numbers changed. Okay, how many of you get pissed off that you don't get more plays? Then look in the mirror. Remember I told you earlier? The problem and the solution are looking at you. Now you're going to have an answer to your problem. Everybody open up your phone. Everybody go to your Spotify account. All right, so let me open up the Zoom again. Let me go big. All right, let's go share screen. All right, so when we open up, we go into Spotify, click on it. Okay. And then we'll just go, Magnum, what's your handle? Is that you on Spotify? Magnum 314. Do you have any songs that you got? Oh, explicit. You got anything that's not explicit? Anything that's going to talk about degrading women or children? Okay, cool. Because that's the only stuff I won't share. Yeah. We in the club. Okay, we in the club sounds fine. Okay, so I'm going to go we in the club. Omari. Okay, wait. We in the club. Okay, that's fine. I'm actually, okay, so here's what happens. Okay. All right, see the three little dots next to we in the club? Click on the three little dots. Scroll up, you're going to see the word share. Hit share. Here's all your radio stations. We have WhatsApp as a radio station. We got Instagram Direct, Messenger, Newsfeed, Stories. We're going to open up Instagram Stories. The reason we're going to open up Instagram Stories is because every time you do a story, have you ever been on Instagram? You notice the people across the top with the red circles around them? That's Instagram saying, hey, out of all the people that you follow, this person just did a story. So we're going to drop that story in there. And then we're going to say whatever we want to say. And then we're going to add to our stories, and it's going to live there for 24 hours. So now you've got your song playing in rotation for 24 hours. And what you're going to start noticing is that those get way more than your post. You're going to get more plays on that or interest or whatever. They have a chance to go to Spotify and follow you at that time. All of you should be sharing your music every single day, multiple times a day. You are your own radio station, so stop blaming other people for not playing your music if you're not playing your own music. Everybody see how easy that is to do? Okay, you can do the same thing with Apple. I think you can do the same thing with Amazon now. So turn your social media platform into your own radio station. Okay? That's the easy one. Okay, and we have a whole bunch of other hacks and all that kind of stuff, and you'll get all of that when you go in to do this other stuff. Next question is, we okay? Everybody, we good? Okay. I know this wasn't fancy and all this kind of stuff, but I didn't fly here on my own dime to be fancy and to make friends. I came here to try to change a life. And some of you have been stuck and this is your first time out in a long time. Me too. I went through my own depression during COVID. Anybody else have depression problems during COVID? Yeah, here was my depression. My job, for those of you that don't know me, I've been teaching courses and consulting artists for a long time. There's a lot of them that are in this room. Is for 18 months, I was the gasoline for your fire. I was the thing fueling you to say it's going to be okay. Here's how we get through it. Here's how we do this. But all the things that I used to refill my tank were taken from me. And my wife's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm exhausted. I said, it's like I'm hearing stories and I'm hearing this, but then I'm also seeing some of the success. I have artists right now that had more success doing online touring than they did doing offline touring during COVID. Do you know that the internet is a venue? Do you know that Instagram is a venue that's open 365 days a year? Crazy, right? Facebook is a venue, worldwide venue. Any night you decide you want to go on, you got an audience. Yeah, Rick, but only like 2 people show up. Then play your ass off for those 2 people, because the replay is where the magic happens. So a lot of times we focus on who's there and we say, wait a minute, we should be focusing on, Rick said, we focus on who's not there. We should be focusing on who's there because everything's on the replay. So we want to be able to look at that. So use these tools. Now, TikTok, you can go live. Twitter, you can go live. There's all kinds of, Twitter's like relevant again. Thanks to crypto, Twitter is very relevant. So don't sleep on Twitter. There's a lot of cool things that you can do on Twitter too. It was crypto and Donald Trump that brought Twitter back to life. Crazy. All right. So the next thing that I want to share with you is I recently surveyed my audience and I asked them, when it comes to your music business, what is your biggest pain and frustration? 72% said marketing and promotion. Now, I asked people who paid for my programs because I want to ask people who spend money what their problem is. I don't ask that. That's what I want you guys to do. When you start asking your audience things, create a little Facebook group for the people that have bought stuff and spent money with you, because they're the ones that are going to help you design that next piece of merch that they'll buy or that next album cover. Start rewarding them. So I asked buyers here. The next thing was growing a fan base. Guidance and strategy. A lot of people just felt, I know I'm supposed to do all this stuff, but I have nobody to show me how. That's why the way that I create my courses is very over the shoulder. When we built the Music Marketing Vault, and Omari's in the vault, Brandman Sean's in the vault, what I did was I went to all of these folks and I said, look, here's the thing that's screwed is that if I would have built what I thought they wanted, that would have been terrible because this wasn't what I was going to build for them. I let them tell me what they wanted. You know how easy it is to sell something to someone who tells you that they want it? Learn from my mistakes. That's what I was able to do, and we were able to create it, and then music monetization. At some point, this is where the relationship's going to go to. And this is my family all behind the stuff. I got to show you guys something that's pretty funny. No, I'm not going to show it. It'd be too crazy. Is that an open loop? Now they're like, what were you going to show me? So, by the way, I have to fly out. I'm going to go and show this. You can take the screen off the thing. I'm going to have to fly out. I have a flight today at 4 o'clock. During COVID, I got really good at golf. And tomorrow I'm playing in the senior championship at like 7:30 in the morning. All it means is I was old enough and I qualified. That's it. I still got to go put that little ball in the hole, which is very hard. So I'm going to be here for 2 hours answering questions and stuff when I'm done. Please don't come up and tell me how great I was and go home and not do anything. Save it. Okay? You give me the nod. You look across the room. You give me that nod. You give me that virtual fist bump. I want to see success stories in here. But here's the difference between me and a lot of different people. One of my mentors said to me, they're like, Rick, you've got to start posting more success stories on your socials. Basically, they want me to take credit. Take credit for what people are doing. I said, why? They did it. I said, do I also need to take credit for the 90% that didn't do shit? They had the same stuff. It's like high school football, same coaches, same plays, same everything. 5 go, maybe, if they're lucky, 5 go to college. The rest were just good football players. I want you to start taking pride of ownership in your business. I'm honored if you use anything that I did and you want to give me a shout out, that's great. But I will never take credit for the work that you did because you did the work. You guys need to start taking more credit for what's happening. And you also need to start taking more blame for what's not happening. Because once again, the solution to your problem is where? In the mirror. The problem and the solution are looking right at you. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. If you did not type the word gift into Instagram Messenger or go to rickbarker.com/gift, GIFT, please go ahead and do so. That stuff will be available as long as you want access to it. It's yours. Brittany, thank you for creating the ads rainbow. I don't want to show it because I don't want nobody to take a picture of it. I'm kind of keeping it so that they'll go. You see what I'm saying? A little strategy? Yes. It's not about putting it out. It's about getting it heard. My job is to help you get your message heard. At Rick Barker Music, you can always DM me. If I don't get back to you, a lot of times I have other things that, if you want to learn more from me, there's ways to be able to do that. But Chris, where could I be? Like, is there like any place that I'm supposed to be to sit and answer questions or? Okay. Have you guys met Chris Robley? Yeah, that's Chris. Okay. And another person you guys need to get to know, and he's not a speaker here and he should be, but he's one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. Omari, would you stand up real quick? This is Omari MC. Okay. So Omari's one of the good guys. It's like, it's fun because, and I'm not here to put religion on anybody, but we're also brothers in Christ. So it's real easy for us to have conversations and make sure we're doing the right thing so that we can sleep well at night. So if you guys don't know what he does, find out what he does. And you guys have been awesome. Hey, Chris. An author table. All right. Right out into the right or right out into? Okay. All right. Over there where Chris. Hey, thank you so much for inviting me and working with my schedule to make sure that I got in early. Christina's in the house. All right. Thank you guys so much. All right.